Hello and welcome to episode 92 of the Back Nine Six Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. No longer joined by my appendix, though.
I just popped that beer for your appendix.
Yeah, the last beer I popped sent me to the ER. That was fun.
I had a feeling that was going to have consequences. To be honest, I really did.
Oh,
You were struggling through it, and it cost everything. So
man, what a wild week that it has been. Just unbelievable. I listened back because I wanted to see exactly what I had said, but we had mentioned off the top kind of like how you weren't feeling great. I think I said I'm dealing with some kind of congestion and some sort of something going on with my stomach. Well, it turned out that was appendicitis that was going on. Yeah, had to make a trip to the ER. Drove myself there Tuesday morning because I was like, this just is not right. Did the CT scan. They're like, yep, appendicitis. Super cool. So a lot of firsts checked off for me in this week.
Ambulance ride?
Yeah, first time to the ER. First time riding an ambulance because I had to be transported from a regional campus to the main campus of the hospital I went to. First time having surgery. First time staying in a hospital overnight that was not related to like childbirth.
Yeah. Like you're the one in the bed.
Yeah, it was my own doing that got me there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Yeah, mine was not appendicitis. Mine was just coming off the Super Bowl. I'm glad mine was not appendicitis. From the sounds of it, I know a lot of people that have had their appendix taken out. Not a fun process. As you said in a text, turns out you do a lot of stuff with your belt line, like movement wise. So, yeah, that's a tough. The gains in the speed column are gonna take a drastic hit on this.
Yeah, there's so many things I can talk about here. One, yeah, so I was again, shout out to Kent. I had teased, I'll have a full recap of my first series on the stack system. Well, no, that's not happening because I came up one session short of completing my first program there. So we'll see if I have to restart that or just finish the one and just move on. But more to come there. I also was I'm running a half marathon. Was going to be a 12-week program. It's going to be cut to about 8 now.
Oh boy.
So that's fun. Done that before though. That's how short it was last time. So maybe it's a good thing. Save me a few weeks of running. Yeah, but so the appendix thing is kind of wild. Like, I guess nowadays it used to be like if you had appendicitis, it was like, holy shit, get that thing out. You're gonna die if you don't.
Yeah.
So nowadays they actually like prefer to like try to treat it, antibiotics and stuff, if they're able to, if you're not like having super acute symptoms. Well, it turned out that mine had to come out. They actually recommended, and I agree with that plan course of action. Regardless, because I was like, I just want to get this thing out. Like, I'm not going to try to treat it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like it's just kicking the can down the road. Not saying that look, I'm not a doctor, but it would suck to go on antibiotics, not feel well for 2 weeks, and then they're like, oh, it's got to come out now. Like, just get it out now.
Right. They were like, someone that's quote unquote young and healthy, like I was or am. It just made sense to take it out anyway, and it turns out it was a good thing. My appendix was completely dead, like. Gone, not even doing it doesn't do anything to begin with, but it was just straight dead.
Yeah.
Had a stone in there. I didn't know appendix stones were a thing. You can get an appendix stone.
Yeah, that was a new one for me too when you said that.
So yeah, they were able to, I got the laparoscopic procedure done. They go in there with the robotic arms and the camera, they blow you up with CO2 and nip it out of there.
For the amazing things that the human body does, how do we have a part of our body that just doesn't do anything?
Yeah, I think I told a couple of people this in text. I was like, what a true rat bastard the appendix is. Right?
Yeah,
it's like it literally does nothing for you and it can kill you, at which point you need to have it removed. So
yeah, it's like that bad
cause you pain.
It's the bad family member, right? They siphon money off of you. They're just shitheads. Don't do anything. And then they show up at your house in the middle of the night and rob you, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Just rob you of all your joy. That's truly what the appendix is. What a terrible organ, I guess, if you want to call it an organ. I don't know. Yeah, just terrible.
Yeah, literally can only cause you pain and death. Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah, sad.
So, yeah, honestly, the way I felt a couple days after, I was like, man, it was one of those things where it's hard to get out of bed. Like you can barely move. Coughing, laughing, sneezing is like a death sentence. But now, like almost a week out now, it's pretty crazy. Like how good I am starting to feel.
Yeah.
Like it's still sore, and I still have the incisions and all that, and I can't. They put you on rest, so you're like 2 weeks you can't lift more than 10 pounds, which they're like basically don't go above a gallon of milk is what they tell you.
Jesus. Oh my
Which
God.
look, massive shout out to Susie who's like holding it down while she's pregnant with
Ugh.
2 kids here. I can't pick Cole up. I can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
So I just
What a
kind of float around the house and do
So
things
are they taking appointments for having the appendix removed? Because I'm
if you
next
want a
in
free 2
line.
weeks, try to time it up with like March Madness or something like that, so you can get a good rest out of it. But yeah, I watched a lot of golf this weekend. Let me tell you that. It's the most golf I've watched since a major. Probably.
Not much else to do.
No. So anyway, if you were here, I'm glad I am. I'm glad my appendix isn't. Please smash the like button, subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Back, and shoot us some fan mail. If you have your appendix out, let me know how your story was. I'd be curious to know. So
still have mine. Still an appendicitis fan over here.
Yeah, you've got time. You've got time. Well, we can get straight into golf this week.
Yeah, no football.
Football's gone. First Sunday without football, always a little bit sad, but also kind of good to have a little bit of a break. So.
Yes.
Best thing you saw in golf this week?
Oh,
jump in.
It had to be the girl betting her dad when Justin Thomas holed out on 18 on Sunday at the Waste Management. Did you see that video?
No, I missed this.
So the dad and this like little girl were like talking, and he was like, if he puts this in the hole on this shot, you can turn your show on. And literally, it's like Justin Thomas hits the shot, backspins into the hole, and he's like, "Oh my God!" He's like, "Well, I guess I'm not watching golf anymore." Super super awesome video. Like the girl is like going kind of crazy, and it's like just the worst bet in the world ever made. I just laughed because I feel like that would be something that would happen to me.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's too good. I missed that completely.
Yeah, it was such a good video. I think the PGA Tour might have put it on their social media. You can kind of find it around. It's a good video. If you haven't seen it, watch it. What a great bet by that little girl, by the way. So,
I mean, yeah. How far away was he? Like 80, 90 yards?
No, I want to say he was like 110 or 120 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. It was a great video.
Massive win. Best thing for me, look, you had actually sent this my way. I knew that he was doing this, but like when I finally saw Mav McNeely's plane, it's so sick.
It is kind of sick.
It's like a little, 4-seater Cessna or whatever the heck kind of plane it is. But it's like the light blue, like the paint scheme on it is like super sick.
It is cool. Yes.
Yeah, so he's flying himself tournament. Well, at least along the West Coast.
Yeah. I would imagine they're in Florida next, probably in his next tournament. I would doubt and maybe he does fly it that way and kind of get it over there, and he can fly around Florida. I don't know, but it's pretty cool.
No, it's pretty cool. He was actually on with No Laying Up during their AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am coverage, and I think he had mentioned he's still kind of in the stage where like he takes like a certified pilot with him still. Like he's like licensed, but he still wants to have like the learning or whatever. And I don't think he flies much farther than like Texas is kind of what I think he said.
Yeah, so. I'm always jealous of people that become pilots and take the time. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. It's always something I've like said I wanted to do, but then I'm like, I don't trust myself behind the wheel of a car. I don't think I should probably trust myself behind the wheel of a plane. But it's cool. Like I don't really have opinion on him, but like that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool for sure.
It's kind of a flex too, by the way. Like,
well, yeah, massive flex.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I'm with you though. That would be something that I think would be like. It's one of those things that you'd think about doing, but you'd also in reality be like, no, I would never.
I just don't have the commitment to do it. Right? Like, I really want to do it, but I just don't. I have so many other hobbies that just take up so much time. I'd have to quit something else.
Can't pick up flying.
Yeah.
Probably something you want to have the commitment for too, by the way. So
yeah, and passion and things like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to the Genesis Invitational, which was, of course, played at Torrey Pines instead of Riv due to the fires in Los Angeles. Ludvig Oberg, however you say his name, wins the Genesis Invitational. Shot a 66 on Sunday, back 932 to close it out, and nip Mac McNeely, who had just an electric round that it wound up coming just short. He made that bogey and never got it back on the birdie train. So
Yeah, did you see Justin Thomas was playing alongside of him, and he said he's like, if we were playing match play, he would have been 1 up through 1, and then still would have lost the match like 10-8 or something like that.
yeah,
or
he
like
said it,
or like
9-8.
8-7 or something like that. It was something crazy like that. Like he would have lost like the next 9 holes or something.
Yeah, it was wild. He shot 64, 8 under with a bogey. I don't remember how. I think it might have been like birdies on 8 of his first 10 or something crazy. Like it was.
Yeah, it was.
Really
Yeah, I know he had a streak of 6 in there somewhere, like 2 through 7 or something like that. It was, and then like a couple pars and a couple more, and then yeah, he had that bogey and never really got it back on the birdie train. But man, like he played unbelievable. Ludvig, man, he was a top 10 like thief for a while. Like I was just like wondering when he was like gonna have that win where it was like, this is a big tournament. When is he gonna get this win? And then now it finally happens, and he does it on a Sunday at Torrey Pines with a 4 under back nine, which is just insane because that back nine is not easy. Yeah, I get more worried about the Ryder Cup every week. This week is not making me feel any better.
I don't know if Europe is somehow plus money still. It might be time to get in. I have very little faith in the U.S. team personally right now.
My gosh, these Europeans are playing some good golf. It's utterly terrifying what they could do to us this year.
Well, it's not just like that they're playing well, but they're having guys emerge that aren't like your typical Euro players, right? Like they're always like usually keep it in the fairway, keep it in play, make a bunch of pars. No, they've got like some juice. They've got some bombers now.
They do. And like last week, Højgaard, not even Nikolai, who played in the last one, his brother Rasmus comes out of nowhere, gets a top 10, was leading for the longest time. Like that guy is emerging. We are in trouble. Big trouble. So yeah, I like he wins, and I'm like, all I can think about is the Ryder Cup. I'm like, holy crap, we are in big trouble.
His second career PGA Tour win. He won the RSM back at the end of like 2023. He also has an international win, the 2023 Omega European Masters. So honestly, it'd been a little bit since he won. But you think about how much he's contended, like you mentioned, last year in majors, like solo second at the Masters, and I think he was in it at the U.S. Open as well.
Yeah, I just remember last year, I would take him like on a Sunday bet, right? Like, okay, he's got good odds, like he can win this thing in like 4th place, 3rd place, 5th place. I'm like, God dang, like it's like he's good enough to win these tournaments. It's like, what is he doing? And finally kind of breaks through. I mean, I know he won the Masters right before the Ryder Cup, 2 years ago, right? Over there. The
Omega European Masters.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be a bigger kickstart for him. I really did. But it took a little bit. But golf is that level of golf is just so hard to figure out how to win.
Yeah, and plus he had the knee injury in the procedure last year too, so like you don't know how much that was affecting him, and if he's fully healthy and doing this kind of thing already, like seems like a big year's coming.
And unfortunately, it might be in September. Part of that might be September at Bethpage. So
right. So like I said, the rest of the top 5, Mav McNeely came in solo second, followed by T3 from Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Rogers. And again, Patrick Rogers, he's had like 300 starts and has not won yet. And a lot of tough breaks. Like, I think it was the John Deere that Bryson won, where like Bryson had a wicked Sunday to come back in that one. This one, it's like he's battling off, a guy looks like he's going to shoot 59, and then just generational talents all around him.
Yeah.
And then T5, Patrick Cantlay, Tommy Fleetwood, Tony Finau, Denny McCarthy. Just a lot of like the classic, like I don't want to say losers, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like the guys that just don't win, but they're like there. Yeah, yeah.
And then some notables. T13, Hideki Matsuyama. He's notable because that was who you wanted to take in one and done. T17, Rory McIlroy. First, I have no idea how this is possible. He was first in strokes gained off the tee for the week.
That makes zero sense.
And it makes no sense for how much of him I saw going left.
Are analytics ever wrong? Because that could be onto something here.
Good question. He also, I think he lost like 7 strokes putting on the weekend. The third round, there was like 4 strokes that he lost. And that is, I think it was like his worst career putting day. Like the worst ever.
Oh my gosh.
He was also our one and done pick, so that kind of tracks. Also tied at 17, Colin Morikawa. I'd put him in here too because I feel like he hasn't really done much, but he's kind of lingering. Like he's around still. And then some notable miscuts. Victor Hovland's still struggling. Max Homa bigly struggling. About to drop out of like the top 60 in the world at this point. Like he's going back. And then I make note of this too. Our king Jordan Spieth made some comments after. I don't know if you saw those or not.
I did.
Some concern about the wrist already.
God.
Sore. He thinks it's just soreness, but also he like played with this, bone chip fracture situation for a year and a half or whatever. So like, I don't know. I worry about that. I knew the second that I saw the rough.
It was not going to be good.
This is not going to be good for our guy.
Yeah.
So something to monitor there. But yeah, overall, I was curious. Thoughts on Torrey on the second go round?
I thought, I mean, it was funny. We talked about it. Like it might play tough, and man, that rough was thick. It definitely played tough. I mean, anytime you get guys under 13, 14 under, that's a tough golf course. Like these are the best players in the world, so it definitely played tough. Still not a big Torrey fan. It's just like there's so many holes that just kind of blend together.
Yeah.
I hate that. Hate it. But shout out to Patrick Rogers. Do you remember the run-in I had with him at the Memorial like 3 years ago?
No.
Well, no. So let me remind you. So this is like right when Liv's taking off. Guys are leaving for Liv. I'm at the Memorial behind four green, the par 3. And like there's nobody out there. Like Patrick Rogers is playing with like been on. Like it was like one of those groups that they threw out at like 2:00. Just go play. Like just don't hold anybody up, kind of thing. And we're out there, and they get put on the clock. Like they're not holding anybody up. The one guy in their group, this was when there was still a full field. I think it was a Monday qualifier. Like dude was playing slow. Like so they put him on the clock, and we're behind the green, and I'm like, and you could visibly see Patrick Rogers is not happy. Like he's not happy. Like dude, like hit his chip shot up, like hit his putt, went on to the next tee. As he's walking up the hill, I was like, "Hey Patrick, did they put you on the clock?" And he was like, "Yeah, they fucking did." He goes, "This is why everybody's leaving for Liv," and like rolls up the hill. And I remember sending it to you guys at the time. You're like, oh, like we really care about the 180th ranked golfer in the world. And now he's playing well. So shout out to Patrick Rogers after getting put on the clock at the Memorial. Big week for him. So
yeah, huge week. Yeah. I mean, T3, I didn't look at the official money for that, but it's
a lot of money.
6 figures at least.
But I loved how hard it played. Still hate Torrey Pines. I don't know when the next U.S. Open is going to be there, but I hope it's not for a while.
Yeah, I haven't looked either, but I'm with you. My problem is, like I said, this is the most amount of golf that I've watched since, probably the PGA Championship or whatever. Not that, the U.S. Open, because I didn't get to catch much of the Open Championship because we have our that weekend. But like the lack. The inability to remember the holes is wild to me because I literally watch so much golf.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I can tell you 3, I can tell you 18. I could probably tell you, I think 13's a par 5.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you some holes, but there's just not.
That's about it. Yeah.
if they didn't have the panoramas and the sun that they had and stuff, which is like that is enthralling in its own. I mean, it looks awesome on TV, right? That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. Like for me, like measuring a course of how good it is like if you put that course in Iowa, right? Is it still going to be a good course? I would say there's a lot of courses that it's like, okay, if you put this in Iowa, it's still going to be a pretty good course, right? You put Torrey Pines in Iowa, it's probably a $25 riding Muni. Like, it just is. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, the course is not that great unless you have the views they have. I mean, that it is what it is. Look, I know that's a pretty hot take, but I'm just saying, like, I think about that sometimes. Like, I'll play a course, like, okay, if you put this, like, if I play a course in, like, a resort area, right? It's like, if you put this course, like, not here, would it be a good course? And it's like, yeah, it would be. Okay, then it's probably a pretty good course. But, like, Torrey Pines, if it's anywhere else in the world, no one would even know it existed. Like, seriously. I mean, that's the dead honest truth.
Yeah, they the wild thing with Torrey is like it often delivers compelling tournaments though, right?
It
Like,
does.
really
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
It seems to always come down to the wire. Like you've got a risk reward par 5 at the end, so like there's a chance for somebody to make up shots there or lose shots. But I'm so with you. The course overall is just so.
I mean, think about it. We just saw 2 tournaments in 3 weeks there, right?
Right.
And I watched a lot of the Farmers. I watched a lot on Sunday this week. Still couldn't remember half the holes. Like, they're like on 7. I'm like, I don't even remember this hole. Like, I don't. And that's not good. So.
Yeah. It kind of blew my mind. I kept trying to think back on the holes. I was like, man, I can't even, like, picture this one.
Yeah. Not good.
Okay. Well, speaking of not good, it's a good transition. One and done. Like we said, Rory was our pick last week. T17 signature event, so we did bring home $270,714.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. Somehow we moved backwards though.
Not surprising. I mean, I bet people had Ludvig for sure. I mean,
probably we only moved back like 100 spots, but upped our cash to $601,033. We are now on to the Mexico Open at VidantaWorld, which is that changed? Like, what did they change their name in the resort? I knew it was Vidanta, but did it become VidantaWorld?
Maybe it did. I don't remember it being VidantaWorld.
Me either.
They have a couple different resorts.
Yeah.
On the west coast of Mexico. I'm wondering if it's at a different one than it was last year. Maybe I don't know.
I think it's the same course,
okay,
as far as I can tell. But yeah, didn't do too much research. The one thing I do know here is you have to mash it.
Yeah, it's pretty open. Yeah. Let it fly. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Do you have any leading candidates here for us to take?
I'll tell you. You know, we're going like I'm sticking with the Europeans here. I had Rasmus Højgaard, and he's like second in odds, which is crazy. Dude smokes the ball. I mean, just absolutely mashes it. Coming off a decent tournament at Waste Management, feels like a good fit. Europeans are winning left and right. Hate to take an American. They haven't won much this year yet, so.
I think I'm going to jump on board with you on this one, but we can talk through just for the sake of argument.
You know, I almost wanted Akshay, and he's the, just so you guys, like, he's the odds-on favorite.
Yeah.
The only thing is like, Akshay's one of those guys I kind of want down the road I think there's better fits for him, is probably the way I should put it.
Yeah, might be able to get him at like a 3M or Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Yep.
I can't get it pulled up, but I do know that Rasmus like blew the cut by a mile. I think he might have shot 80 one day.
Last year?
No, at Genesis.
Oh. Yeah, see, but that course didn't set up well for him. I'm
with you. I mean, once you're like on that path, like it's hard to get it back on, you know, and the weather was not great on Thursday, so I don't mind to do it. If you want to go ahead with
I mean, look, you can't take an American. If you're going to take somebody, it's got to be a European right now. So,
I mean, I had in my head Akshay as well, but like recognizing he's also the favorite, like he's probably going to be high. Both these guys are going to be highly owned.
They are. Yeah.
But I just don't know that unless you want to go off the board, it's like, why though, right? In a tournament like this,
it's not a. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna take Rasmus Højgaard.
Which, by
as
the
our
way, he's of the two brothers, he's got the most pedigree out of the two of them. Even though Nikolai's played in the Ryder Cup, Rasmus has always been I guess, deemed by everybody the better of the two brothers. And he just got his card this year.
Yeah, I'm on board. Let's go with it. Rasmus Højgaard, the official Back Nine Six Pack one and done pick of the week.
Riding that European train.
And here's where we're gonna get the American flags all over the board now. Just we're on now. Okay, TGL. We had a triple header today.
Holy crap! And good matches. Unfortunately, the first match did not go my way. But let's talk about that one first.
Yeah, so we had the triple header. Atlanta Drive beats your LA Golf Club 6-5
in overtime.
Tommy Fleetwood with that epic hole out in overtime to send it to the third shot. But then Patrick Cantlay shuts it down. Atlanta Drive takes the win. The good news is you get the tie and the 1 point, so you still, top of the standings at this current time.
Well, and then Justin Thomas holding out to extend the match. Like that he had to make that to take it into overtime.
After flubbing the chip.
Yeah, exactly. But unbelievable. That first match was unbelievable. I watched a little of the second one. I didn't get to see a ton of it.
Yeah, this one was just kind of like, again, Atlanta Drive trying to come back. They had a putt, I think, late to tie. JT had like an eagle putt down the slope and caught the lip but didn't go. So the Bay Club got out of there with a win. And then in the late match, my Boston Common Golf, another loss. We are 0-2-1, just Sweller, like barely above New York Golf Club, just tough scenes. But the Bay, again, like sneaking out. I think Wyndham made like a 10-footer for eagle on the very last hole to secure it, which
pains me.
Right as we were about to hop on when we were watching the end of that, and Keegan called a timeout to try to ice him. So we had our first icing attempt, which is great.
Well, I love that. I didn't even think about doing that, but you can. Yeah.
I guess one big thing looming over all this, the hammer rule change that they made was awesome.
I love it. Yes, It's way better now. Way better.
I think it led to these matches being a little more competitive too.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Great change there. What we didn't talk about, Tommy Fleetwood having a hole-in-one in warm-ups.
Yeah, on a par four.
I was not paying attention at the moment, and I saw it go in. I'm like, holy crap, a hole. And then they flash back. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, it was warm-ups. But, yeah, like, that happened. But then the hammer rule change, I think I agree. It's leading to better matches. I really think, I truly agree with that. Yeah, but it pains me. The Bay is they might be, they're 3-0, I think, right? I could be mistaken. They're 3-0.
They're 3-0, top of the standings.
Top of the board for those football fans out there.
Yeah, let me just get a quick refresh on the standings here for some of our gone. We've been talking a lot about this match to match, so tonight I wanted to look at let's see what the actual season looks like. I don't even understand the playoffs or anything. So
well, I did look at that today. So the top 4 teams go to the playoffs.
Got it.
The semifinals are the 17th and 18th. And I want to say the finals are like the following Tuesday, which is, or maybe Monday. It's like the 24th or 25th. But I think there's we got a match tomorrow night. Tigers, or at least Jupiter Lynx is back on next week, or tomorrow. And then I want to say there's 2 more weeks of matches after that.
Yeah, you are correct. So we do have tomorrow night, Jupe Lynx and New York Golf Club are up. Then we have matches next week on Monday and Tuesday, doubleheader on Monday and a single match on Tuesday. And then the following week, we've got another doubleheader Monday and then a single match on Tuesday. Playoffs, like you mentioned, are the 17th and 18th for the semis. And then the finals are, it's a series, so they could do best of 3, actually. And it goes Monday, Tuesday, and then if the third is deemed necessary, they play the same night on that Tuesday.
Okay, gotcha.
And that would be on the 25th.
Yeah.
So, yeah. About a month left of TGL.
Yeah, and I think right now, based on what I know, New York and Boston are the two teams on the outside looking in.
Yes, they are. They New York Golf Club has 0 points. Boston Common has 1 on the fact that they lost in overtime once. But they're right on the tails of Jupiter Lynx at 2 points. So if they get a W tomorrow, that could be a big win for them. But then, like we said, Bay Golf Club leading the way with 6, LAGC at 5, and then Atlanta Drive with 4. So it kind of really feels like a lot of golf left here, obviously.
Yeah.
Feels like a 2-horse or, kind of like 3 teams for 1 spot at the bottom there.
Yeah. Boston sports. Tough year for the Boston sports fans.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I said this on the show or not, but like leave it to me to pick, one of the loser teams in the new made up virtual golf league.
The team that's not going to make the playoffs for like 3 or 4 years. And
I literally filled out the form on their website and they said you should be a Bay Golf Club fan. They were trying to give me happiness, and I just said no,
thank you.
No, thank you.
I live in misery.
Yeah, that's the only way I know how to be a fan. So I guess
God.
it makes sense. Oh, jeez. All right. Well, we'll continue to follow that. If
I thought
else,
the President's Day tripleheader was a great idea. I really did.
Yeah.
It's something to watch. I had to work today. Nothing crazy. I was in the office most of the day, and so I got the chance to kind of have it on in the background. So I thought it was a great idea. I really did. The crowd seemed electric in there today, and maybe it was just like a holiday and people were, getting after it. But I thought it was a great idea to have. I was a little worried about the 3 matches in one day, but it seemed to work.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to flow well. They, like I said, they had competitive matches. I really think that's the biggest key to all of this is like these matches have to be competitive because the first 2 weeks were brutal in a couple cases. So yeah, we'll keep watching. All right, we're on to fan mail. We did get 1 bit of fan mail. As I was in my hospital bed, I was trying to read through this and a little in and out of it. But shout out to Hinkle, sent us a message talking about your winter habits question. He mentioned, I think it's 2 years now, he said. Let me pull this up. He says, this is year 2 that Carrie and I, his wife, go through every closet, laundry room, spare bedroom, aka the junk room. Everything comes out, things get pitched or donated and then reorganized. It's actually very satisfying.
I did that with my closet back in November. It really is. It pains me to throw some stuff out because I'm like, I'm going to wear this. And then I realize I haven't worn it in like 5 years, especially when it comes to golf polos. Very emotionally attached to some golf polos in there. But yeah, it is satisfying to do that. I agree with him there. Probably something I need to do before we get to the warmer weather. Yeah,
I mean, we're kind of entering nesting mode here in our house. So yeah, that text definitely spoke to me. It's time to just get between like just the stuff that you gather over the years and like, I mean, look, I think the big thing is we're kind of in that phase of life, right? Where like in your 20s, you're just kind of like piecing stuff together, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're taking donations.
You got this hand-me-down couch from that family member. You got these coffee tables from someone else. You've got like the press board TV stand that's still sitting in your basement for some reason. Like, we got to evolve past that. We're moving into the era of like, all right, we're establishing our own life and our own things, and it's time to just like declutter and in some ways start over a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it is weird, and it happens fast too. You know what I mean? Like you get your first house, and you're just trying to fill rooms, right? Like you're just like, God, I'll take that bed. No one's gonna sleep in there probably ever, but I'll take it. And then all of a sudden, it's like the switch flips, and you're like, holy shit, we have too much stuff. It happens fast. It really does happen really, really quickly. This is going to be our second couch in 5 years. We're planning on getting another couch. I'm a dead man. I'm dead inside. It kills me. My father part of me kills me to buy another couch when we got a perfectly nice one sitting in our living room that works perfectly fine. But that's how it gets. Like as soon as you get to 30, it starts flipping. It really does.
The capital purchases for the house are just tough, you know.
Oh my God! And then
we just upgraded to a king size bed this past year, and so we took our queen size, put it in the guest room, and then got rid of like the old guest room bed that was in there to begin with. Well, now we have another kid on the way, so we're going to do the switcheroo of the kid from the nursery into the other kid's room, and then that kid into the guest bedroom. So now we have a whole queen size bed set to get rid of. It's just like you said, it happens so fast.
And not the vent. I'm in the process of actually, I shouldn't say this. I booked a photographer for Scotland for a couple of our rounds on Saturday.
Damn.
Little expensive, but it was like, look, we're not going here to save money. This is a once in a lifetime. He's going to follow us around the old course. So I don't have to take pictures. Like he's going to do everything, right?
That's like such a sick move that I would have never thought of.
And it's just like, you don't have to focus on anything other than playing golf. He's going to take care of all the pictures, all the videos. Well, I make this purchase, right? Like I'm emailing this guy back and forth Saturday night. And this is what an adult is, right? As soon as you think you have everything figured out, you're all excited about something. You might have splurged on something. We get massive rain. You heard the rain on Saturday night. I'm walking to bed and I hear like drip, drip. Oh. I'm like, what the hell is that? Roof leak. Just like that. All the excitement of this guy. And I'm like, it maybe splurged a little bit. And now I have drywall and a roof to fix. And it's just a disaster. On top of a couch. Being an adult sucks. It really does. I wish I had no responsibilities at all. And they all come at one time, by the way. Like your appendix, just the beginning. Like something else is coming. Don't
tell me that. That's not what I need to hear. Yeah, with similar situations, I mean, it's like, you know, you feel like you're making the turn of the corner financially. You're like, oh my God, we paid this off, that off. We're so set to do this thing. Boom, new furnace. Right?
Boom.
It's like there's always something. You're
right. God,
it has to drop.
It is just the worst. It is absolutely the worst. And then I take that L on the way up after watching Kentucky take an L this weekend. It was just a bit it was like excitement turned into just tomorrow's gonna suck, and I don't want to. I'm like, I don't even want to go to sleep. So I can't sleep now. So it was just it's crazy how it all works. But back to the cleaning things out, that's just part of being an adult, and it sucks. It does suck.
Yeah. I mean, it's not fun.
And the poor garbage man, like, he's just out there loading stuff in the back. You know, he's like, how much more crap can these people have in their house? Like, I'm sure that's what our garbage man thinks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got freaking drywall I got to bust up and break down in my garage right now. So that's...
Oh, God.
All right. With that, I think it is time.
Yeah, PVOs only. Let's go to the patio.
Yeah, we're heading to the patio. No beer for me tonight, but hopefully after this 2-week period, I'm going to get back on the horse for a bit. But yeah, who went first? I don't even know.
Last week. I think I went first last week, so I'll throw it to you this week.
Okay. Well, I guess this is an easy one for me. I'm going to stick with the whole appendicitis thing. I know we've had your story on here a couple times about taking the splinter in the ass. But do you have any surgery stories or any health scares or whatever?
I don't know, I guess I'm trying to think. Like health scares? No. Emergencies? Yes. I mean, I had, we moved into this house almost 6 years ago. It'll be 6 years in July. First week we're in here, I'm actually home alone. My family's out of town.
I completely forgot. You've told this story too.
I'm carrying glass up the stairs, or pints. They put them in the dishwasher. They were down in the bar area. And I start dropping them. I don't know why I tried to catch them. And I tried to break my fall with my arm.
Yeah.
Break a glass. Glass goes through my arm, almost all the way through my forearm.
You did it before, you did it before it was
right before the Stampede. It was the Monday before the Stampede. I actually missed that year. That was my first year I was going to play in it. Missed it. And just pulled it out. You ever seen that movie, 1,000 Ways, or 1,000 Ways to Die or whatever? I was like, this is how I die. Like I'm going to bleed out in the kitchen of a house that I just bought 6 days ago. I had that happen. So that was like relatively scary.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. Yeah.
Like, I'm on the phone with 911. She's like, well, if it stopped bleeding, like you didn't hit an artery. I'm like, well, that's reassuring. And actually, I got even luckier than that. I didn't hit a tendon. I didn't hit my bone because it almost went all the way through my arm. So,
yeah.
So I had that happen.
No surgeries?
Nothing like emergency or anything crazy like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, it's been a while. I was a reckless kid. I did break my leg jumping for a basketball hoop off a chair. And, like, my mom tried to tell me my leg wasn't broken, but the bone was, like, poking at my skin. I had to go to the emergency room for that. But, like, nothing recently. Knock on wood. But nothing crazy.
You know what? I just thought about this. That was not my first emergency room trip.
See, I've been in the emergency room a lot.
No, it was my second. My first, I had forgotten. Back in high school, playing like just hoops in somebody's driveway or whatever. Went flying through the air to try to like lay one in over a guy that like played D1 basketball.
Leaving it all out there.
Yeah, that was a bad idea overall. I'm not even good at basketball. And my foot came down on the edge of their driveway and just like twisted, and like the side of my foot basically like touched the ground. So that was like a massive sprained ankle with some like the tendon ripped so hard to the bone broke kind of thing. It was tough. But that was an ER trip. We went to go get x-rays and it was like too swollen. They didn't even see the broken bone. So like I walked around for like 2 weeks on a broken foot and I was like, Mom, Dad, this is not just a sprain. So yeah, it turned out my foot was broken.
Oh.
But yeah, that was the first ER trip now that I think about it.
Yeah, like it's crazy. I was a pretty reckless kid, but I've been pretty like not reckless since like maybe my broken leg I think was the last like we got to go to the emergency room. This is bad, like really bad.
Yeah, there might be some fences that disagree with you about being reckless.
Well, I did fracture a rib this year jumping a fence. I toughed that one out though. I didn't go to the emergency room. I will tell you, holy crap! Like that. Like I know you're like I can't cough, I can't laugh. Like you want to talk about not being able to cough or laugh or sneeze or just do life in general. A cracked rib.
Oh.
Will 100% do that for you, which is funny. Cracked rib, like unlike you, like it kind of immobilizes you. A cracked rib, you can pretty much do a lot of things. You just can't do the things that I just named off. Like I golfed. And actually, some of my best golf this past summer was played with a cracked rib. It was incredible. It was like a Cinderella story out there after trying to jump a fence at 2:00 in the morning.
So what you're saying is Xander just needs to figure it out and get back out there?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I played with a broken rib. Come on. Like, and every once in a while I'll roll over on that side and like, it's like a little tender still. Like it's like today I was like in the gym and like I was on the mat, like I do like these hip mobility exercises and I like rolled over on that side and I was like, ugh, like just like, it was like just a little tender right there. And there's a little notch in my side, right? Like right here. There's a notch where it cracked. It's like I'm assuming it's like some kind of calcium buildup from a healing, but yeah. But I didn't go to the emergency room for that. I toughed that one out.
Yeah, it's not good. I would have definitely been there. Yeah, I don't know. That's my thing. I'm kind of worried about like what's the aftermath of this. Like hundreds and thousands of people have had this done. It's not that bad of a recovery, it seems like. But like, I don't know. Will I feel it in like a month? 6 months?
I would guess not, but I don't know. I mean, again, I'm disclaimer, not a doctor. But I would guess not. The good thing is like, yeah, we do feel older, but you're still relatively young. Like your body's going to heal pretty quickly. Do they cut through muscle for that? That's the determining factor.
I don't know how to answer that because I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But I also don't know how they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So, I mean, if they cut through muscle, like it's probably going to be at least a month, like before you like feel, maybe even 2 months before you feel like full strength.
Yeah, I've got my follow-up's like they give you 2 weeks and they tell you to go in. So mine's like 2.5 weeks after. But I think I should be pretty good to do most normal activities by then. My big thing is like, am I going to be able to activate these speed gains? I'm going to be so pissed. I'm just like,
look,
I don't know.
Someone had the speed train last week. I felt like with you on the sideline, it was going to have to be me. So I went on Wednesday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Speed training. I was like, look, someone's got to keep the speed gains going. Yeah, I would guess that a couple months you should be good. Like at the very most. That might even be like overestimating it.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I mean, I imagine it's not invasive at all. Once the actual incisions heal all the way, I imagine you're probably pretty free and clear.
That would be my guess too. But I also didn't go to the hospital for a broken rib. So
fair.
All right, gosh. All right. So I asked this question on Facebook, but I don't think I got enough answers to really satisfy my needs. So wife's 4th grade class, they do like an icebreaker every morning. And every once in a while, like I'll ask what the question is. Last week they had a question. It was like, if you could make any animal the size of a hamster or like a mouse, like some big animal the size of a hamster or mouse, like what would you make smaller?
God, what a sick question. Currently alive animal, or could it be anything?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say he's currently alive. So yeah. I chose a gorilla. I think a small gorilla would be fucking awesome.
God, that thing would be such a beast to
Dude, think about it. Like it'd be like an ant. Like it just like lifts things like quadruple its weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that and it just its climbing ability. Like I imagine
sick.
My brother and sister both had hamsters growing up, and they would escape. And I'm like, just thinking that gorilla would be out of there so fast. Like,
oh my god, dude! Just open the gate. Just open the their cage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd cage it. I'd let it just do its thing. You know what I mean? Just run around the house.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good answer. Just because gorillas are cool.
I feel like it could be a complete menace, though. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It could be an absolute menace.
Like you're in the shower and this thing just comes flying off the top ropes. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just thought I didn't even have another answer. I was just like gorilla. It just felt like the right answer.
I mean, I think my mind went to what's the biggest thing that you could shrink down. An elephant comes to mind.
Elephant would be kind of cool.
They seem a little more docile. You can probably you could build a sick savanna setup for it and just kind of.
That'd be pretty sick. Around. Put some sand down in there. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like there's probably still a significant amount of pooping that would happen. That would be kind of.
Yeah, that was my thought with an elephant. The fecal cleanup would be not great.
Yeah, but I think an elephant would be a little more pet-like, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's something a little more domesticated, I guess.
Yeah.
Someone told me a polar bear. Now, I get the idea behind that, right? You're like, oh, polar bears are cute. Could you imagine this thing that is super aggressive being the size of a mouse that's just trekking around your house? I don't know how I feel about that.
You know what'd be sick is to put a note on that, yeah, I'm with you. Polar bear, grizzly bear, those are some nasty
dude.
Animals.
Yeah, it'd be like having the world's meanest dog being the size of a mouse running around your house. You probably even meaner, honestly.
Yeah. What could be sick would be get a humpback whale for an aquarium. Just have a
that would be pretty sick. That would be, honestly.
Or just if you want to talk about nasty animals, get a great white, get that thing in the aquarium.
Oh, just start feeding it stuff, dude. Yeah. That would be kind of cool too. But I think I do like the elephant. I didn't really think about that too much, but it'd be a very chill animal to have around the house.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. If you're thinking an actual pet, I think that's probably the most feasible big animal that you can make.
I know sloths are not very big, but I think a tiny sloth would be kind of cool.
You know what? I'm with you on that. I think that's actually probably the play.
I don't know, just be hanging out on your shoulder. You know what I mean? Just chilling. Very docile.
Seems very low maintenance. Not a lot of food. Has no metabolism.
Yeah, and not probably pooping a bunch. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's probably not a lot of cleanup for a sloth. Yeah, I just thought about that. I was like, a sloth would be pretty cool. Like it would be just something that would just like a bird. It'd just like hang out on your shoulder.
Yeah. Red pandas, famously cute. That could be a fun one.
Didn't think about that one. Not mean or anything like that.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty good one. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Like I like how you went aquatic there for a little bit. Now, like if you could make an animal bigger, which one would you make bigger? Let's flip it that way.
God, none of them.
So I think I would probably make like a ferret bigger. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Maybe like a fox could be sick. Like
A bigger fox would be kind of cool too. Foxes are like very like chill.
Maybe they're also like I don't
Well,
know.
they're like I didn't say that. They're finicky, right? Like they're very like standoffish, but they're nice. You know what I mean?
You know, what'd be good would be like a bunny, like a just like
Oh
super soft. Like you just like snuggle up to one of those like
things just hopping around the house, and the whole house is just like shaking. You're like,
no. Well, I'm thinking about like one of those like kind of floppy-eared like ones that just like lays around.
Oh, okay. So it's just like it's not hopping around the house,
Yeah,
knocking
it'd be like
crap
a giant
around. Okay.
beanbag chair. You just like chill with it.
No, like I can do that. I can do that. The problem is like most small things are kind of terrifying.
That's my thing.
Like
That's
you're
why I
like,
said
I want to make an ant bigger. That's terrifying. Like that is terrifying.
Didn't you see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah, I have actually.
You don't want that.
Uh,
Yeah, bugs get them out of here.
well, you just starting to get in you start getting in the insects category, and it's kind of like, yeah, none of them. Like even a ladybug, I'm like, I don't want a giant ladybug running around here. You know what I mean?
Nah. The whole category just I'm
Well, because they're like even like a ladybug up close is like kind of scary. Like the face of it and stuff. Yeah, no thanks.
For sure. Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think of anything. I don't think there's much else. I mean, a giant bird would be cool. Like if you could ride it.
Oh, that would be kind of awesome.
Like make a bald eagle massive.
Oh
like
God, you're just like jetting around on that thing. That would be pretty sick, honestly. That might be the play, actually.
Yeah.
And it has to be a bald eagle, nothing else. Maybe a hawk. I'd take a hawk too.
Yeah, a hawk would be cool.
A hawk.
Shout out Tony.
Like, yeah, we have a hawk in our backyard and named him AJ. AJ Hawk is in our backyard.
All right, so we now have Tony, Ethan, and AJ. Okay.
God, this thing's birds are just like they're incredible animals. Like, and I think that's why that answer is so good. Like, especially the predators.
Yeah.
Like this hawk is it's enormous. Like I don't even know how much bigger you could make it. Like it's already kind of big. I mean, I guess you could make it to where you can ride it. But I feel like this hawk is so big, like it's probably 20 more pounds from me being able to ride it. You know what I mean? Like that would be cool. Like you're like, oh, what are you taking to work today? I'm riding a hawk into work today.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, owls are pretty sick too. They're not like the level of an eagle or a hawk, but they're interesting birds.
Yeah, they're like low key, like nasty predators too.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, look at that cute owl, and then you're like, you see it at night, and it flies from a mile away to a mouse, and just like eviscerates this thing, you know?
Yeah, and their heads like go almost all the way around their body. Like,
yeah, dude, birds are probably the most unique animals in the world, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, just given the fact that they can actually fly, I mean, that puts them above
pretty much almost everything.
Yeah, like makes them totally.
We've got a lot of cardinals in my backyard this year. It's kind of crazy.
So do we.
Onslaught of like the cardinal population's booming right now. So, and those are kind of nasty, by the way. They can get like cardinals and blue jays are pretty mean. They really are. They're not nice birds.
That's the ones that look the coolest. So
yeah, exactly.
Makes sense, I guess.
Oh
man. All right. Well, nice little tidy 55-minute episode for you here tonight.
Yep. And we entered the animal kingdom, which is always fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great question. And to flip it was fun. So Yeah, go ahead, send us a fan mail. Let us know about your animals you want to shrink or grow in size. And please, on your way out, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, rate, review the show, follow us on social media at Back9 Six Pack. And until next time, cheers.
See ya.